I'm here today with my good friend, Randy Garn. He is so accomplished. I don't even know where to start, but he was Entrepreneur of the Year for Ernst & Young. He's a New York Times bestselling author. He has a great family with kids who love him and a wife who he has a great marriage with, which is just so rare to find. So when I was thinking of you coming on, I had so many questions that I was like, where should I start? Should it be business? Should it be marriage? But the thing that stood out to me the most is that even though you and your wife both have all these successful businesses, you really love each other. I've seen you guys together. I've been in your house. I've seen your family. You actually have a successful family where your kids love you.
They are fun.
They love you. And you and your wife have this marriage where you really love each other. Yeah. How is that possible?
I mean, it is possible, but you have to work like crazy at it.
How? Like, what do you have to do?
I think that it's funny because we're actually in December, so this coming month, we will be married 25 years.
Wow, congratulations.
And I mean, I wouldn't be honest if I said it's always been perfect and always been good.
Of course not.
Because actually, part of marriage is like being able to have great, hard conversations together. Mm-hmm. And my wife is fearless at having hard conversations. Like, I swear, awesome. She is like we are so different, which makes us so compatible.
Yeah.
But she will speak her mind all the time. And so I always know where she's at.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really like, she is just so consistent.
Wow.
She's just so consistent that I always know where she's at. And the other thing that I love most about my wife is she is a rock and she loves God. And because she loves God so much, I think that's why she loves me. Because she knows how to forgive. She knows how to be kind. She knows how to be hard. She knows how to be strong. She knows how to hold accountability. So I think just she is, like, for me, the perfect example of a woman that loves God with all her heart.
And so does that matter in marriage?
Dude, for me, it's like everything in the marriage.
Yeah.
Everything. So I just try to keep up with her. She's amazing.
She is amazing. So, I've met her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember that's so cool that you said that, because I remember having this conversation with my brother when he was dating and these relationships weren't working out. And I was like, you need to find someone who loves God because I love God. Yeah. If I'm mad at my husband, I'm never going to take things too far to prove a point to him or something, because I love God too much to do that. Yeah. And we'll always recover because, like you said, forgiveness and, like, actual Christ-like love, that makes marriage really work.
Yep.
And enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, there's kind of this, like, I don't know, in media and on social media, and there's always kind of jokes and memes about marriage being so awful. And it's not that way at all when people are really working and putting God first. It's not. It's actually awesome. It's way better than being single. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree. I think, and I always say that with any of the youth that I work with, or any young men or young women that are getting married. I said, make sure that whoever you marry, that they love God, and that they have that they're like firmly, their faith is strong. Because if you think about that, then we're way better at being able to make longer decisions. Because a lot of times in life, we're just very transactional.
Yeah.
So even with our relationships, like what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
But when you really are fully committed to each other in a partnership and in a marriage, just be like, dude, this is lasting. We believe that this is lasting for all eternity. Yeah. So we better learn how to get along. And I think we've also changed our perspective. We try not to ever say bad things about each other when we're even together. Or, we used to make fun of each other and do all that. We don't anymore. Yeah. We literally, you talk positively about your partner. And you lift and build each other up. And it's so much better and so funner to be able to have that kind of a deep-rooted relationship. Yeah. But if you really love God, that you get rid of envy and strife and feeling bad about yourself or whatever, so you're just in a better emotional state.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And it's so cute to watch you and your family together. Your daughter just left on a mission a few months ago. Where did she go again?
She's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana mission.
Wow.
But she's in Hattiesburg, Mississippi right now.
Wow.
And having a blast.
In the deep South.
Yep. She loves it.
Oh, I bet. That's so cool. But I got to see at your house the interaction you have with your kids. And do you mind sharing? This story made me laugh so much. What your daughter told you when she decided to go on a mission?
Well, she didn't even tell us she was going.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's hilarious. Like this, my other daughter, my older daughter served a mission too in
Wow.
Baton Rouge. So they got
Oh, I
called,
didn't know
my
that.
daughters got called to the exact same mission president,
Wow.
months apart. But my daughter, like, we didn't know she was going to go on a mission.
Yeah.
And she's just so powerful. She's got this quiet confidence about her, and everyone loves her.
Yeah.
And she literally did all of her mission paperwork by herself. She went to the bishop, went stake president, did everything that she needed to, and then she literally got her call, and she opened up her call
By
by
yourself?
herself, by herself.
No one does that.
I know. And then she called my wife, and she's like, "Mom, I got my mission call." I was like, "Are you kidding me? You're going on a mission?" She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, like, when are you going to get your paper?" She's like, "No, you don't understand. I already opened my call." And so my wife calls me and she's like, "Okay, we're going to all open it again together." So, so it's just hilarious.
Well, maybe it
That's
was
how she
that
is.
daughter, or maybe it was the other one that told you something else that like, Dad, I have something to tell you.
We did block that out of my mind. So yes, the same daughter, that same daughter, that's what I'm saying. She didn't tell anybody that she'd done it. She'd opened up her call and everything. And then she said, "Dad, I want to take you to dinner because I have something important to tell you." We're sitting down at dinner, and Hallie, like, she's like, "Dad, I have something important to tell you. I want you to know I'm pregnant." And I said, "Hallie, I love you. We'll work it out. Really excited for you. Like, tell me all about it. Tell me what's going on." And she said, "No, Dad, I'm just kidding. I'm going on a mission. I got my call." Well, anyways, it is the same character. She's a
That
character.
I knew that because I didn't know your daughter before,
Yeah.
but when I was at your house and you
Yeah.
told that story, I was like,
Yeah.
I like her a lot. That is so cool that she did
Yeah.
that. Okay, so you have this successful marriage and family, and the interaction, like I said, that I saw with your kids is even your teenage kids
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I think it's just, we try to, I have tried to, in my life, to focus on the things that matter most. And for me, no amount of success in business can compensate for failure in the home. And so for me, I have really tried in the last, I would say probably last 10 to 8 years, really more so, to really put my family first and foremost. I don't have time to do it. For example, like my twin boys, I have twin boys.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, they came to me and said, "Dad, we want to play flag football. Let's get signed up for him." Like, "I'm so excited for you guys." And like all their little buddies were around him and everything. And Jack says, "Dad, but you're going to be our coach." And I remember thinking to myself, I do not have time to do this. I'm like, "You know what, Jack? That's awesome, but I don't have time to be your coach." And then Max said, "But Dad, you always say that family's most important. We want to be your coach."
Ooh,
And then all
dagger.
their little buddies were like, "No, we want you. You're Coach Garn. You have to coach us." So I'm like, I'm going on my third year of coaching now. We're going to do it again in spring. And we have such a fun, amazing team. But I've made that my time with my boys. So at the same, I'm never going to regret being my boys' flag football coach.
No.
Could I make more money? Could I grind harder? Could I do those things? But for what? That's why I want to know, if you literally have an eternal perspective, my job as a father is to protect my family, and that I am their father, and they know I'm their father, and they know that that I love them. There is nothing more important than that they have that confidence that Dad was there for me. My kids are going to do amazing things because they
already
believe in
are.
themselves. I know they are. They're so fun. So that is my joy. The greatest sorrows and the greatest joys will always come within the walls of our own homes.
So true. So then what would you say to someone who says that fathers don't matter? I can have a kid by myself and do just as, the same things that a father can do. Do they matter?
Oh, I mean, I think that fathers in the home are so important. Even if you're a single mom or, whatever that may be, because I have family that are in those circumstances too. But to have a father figure, statistically, we know is so important, that they have a male figure that is strong, that is godly, that is faithful, that somebody that they can look up to and be like, there's something different about them. The best would be the father, 100%. So if there's fathers listening to here and you aren't doing those things, I would really recommend like spending time with what matters most, because you will regret it in the end of the day. And so that's what gives me the most joy. So I mean, I'm trying to live what drives joy and happiness for me.
Yeah.
My greatest thing is my relationship with my wife and my beautiful family.
So
That's my priority.
what if people say, because you hear this all the time, real joy comes from, self-care and self this and making sure, it's self. What do you say to someone like that if you're saying, for you at least, real joy comes from your marriage and family?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have to be in a good space myself.
Sure.
So, but my greatest joy doesn't just always come from just focusing on me. The bigger joy is to not be it's not to be selfish, it's to be selfless.
Wow.
And that means when we serve and when we do things for other people, it actually will give us more fulfillment and joy than to just focusing 100% on ourselves. So it's not me, it's we. That is a higher level. But if you need self-care and you need to get yourself in a really, really good spot so you can be we,
Sure.
and you got to do me, then focus on that emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever you need to do. But you don't have to just do that only. I don't think it's just self-care all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think it's that's important. I really do. I think it's focused on what matters most in your, like if you're having emotional struggles and trauma and things like that, like get yourself in a good space so that you can enjoy those things. But even while you're doing that, serve. Be around those people that matter most, and that will actually fulfill you, and that will help you with your self-care, I promise.
Wow. So you must be feeling a lot of joy right now for doing this service opportunity for me to come to my house when you're so busy.
No, you know that you guys are like family to us.
Oh, we
You and
love you
Sean are the
guys.
best.
Oh, thank you. I do have an amazing husband. That's for another podcast. But anyway,
We need to get him on here. Has he been on your podcast?
I know. No, I don't even know if
Okay.
he's watched these.
Dude, we are getting Sean on this podcast.
No, convince him.
Me and Shar and you and Sean
Yes.
will do a podcast with each other.
He's going to be here in a second. You need to pressure him,
I love
seriously.
it. Okay.
So you've been on so many different platforms. In fact, you've spoken on stage to so many people, and a lot of people want to hear what you have to say regarding business. One thing I thought of earlier that I wanted to know. So I'm rewinding myself back to a time in my life when I didn't know what to be doing with my life, and I didn't even know where to start. I had this kind of dead end job, and I was just kind of like, I don't know what the next step is. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. It felt so aimless, but I felt like I wasn't getting answers on what I was supposed to do. Yeah. For someone who has a lot of ambition and who wants to be successful, what is something that they can do like today, right now, to head them in the right direction, business-wise?
I think a lot of times people are like grasshoppers. They're great on takeoff. They never know where they're going to land.
Yeah.
And most entrepreneurs fail. And so one of the things that I focus on a lot when I sit on either an advisory board or helping a company scale and grow, I've had the fortune of building several companies and having some success that way, and really being a founder, it is so hard.
Yes.
And doing that, like even with economic changes and everything that's going on, you have to be resilient, but you also have to have a really good plan. The best time, like if you want to start a business or you're building a company, the best time to enter into the forest when you already have the map. Most people just run into the forest and they're just like, Yahoo! And you never know, and you literally can get eaten alive and you can get lost. And so I think the main thing that I share with people is that I say, spend a lot more time on your strategy. Spend a lot more time on your, really what you want to create and what you were born to do. And I always say, if you don't have your strategy on one page, you don't have a strategy. And that came from my buddy, Tyler Norton, is this spend a lot of time on that little document that says, this is what I'm building the next 3 to 5 years. And actually like doing 3 years, to be honest with you, because things change so much.
Sure.
I mean, when I was coming here, I just got off the phone with the guys from Angel Studios,
Yeah.
They did VidAngel first, which was to clean up that old bad language and things that were on movies. And now they're a massive movie production company. I mean, they're actually a very huge, large distribution company.
They did Sound of Freedom, right?
Yeah, they did Sound of Freedom. They did they're distributed The Chosen,
Wow.
New movies. But they didn't start out that way, right? They started out being like a clean flicks and like they would scrub bad content from movies so that you could watch anything. And so they pivoted and they ideated and they innovated. And so even if you're doing it, you have to have a really good strategy of what is your key purpose. What do you want to create? And make sure you spend a lot of time on that vision, on that strategy. And I mean, I'm really super close with an amazing man, Brendan Burchard. He wrote a book, High Performing Habits. The very, very first thing of high performers is to seek clarity.
Wow.
So I would make sure that you seek clarity and that you're building something that you hear the angelic choir singing and you're like, yes, yes, yes. That's what I would do. But spend a lot of time on the plan.
Wow. Okay, if let's say they're in a dead end job and they don't have a plan and they don't know what they're going to be doing,
Get a plan.
figure out what to do.
Get a plan, get a coach, get somebody that has, go ask, build your own personal advisory board. You don't even need to pay them.
Yeah.
Like find somebody that you really admire, go get a coach, go get a mentor, go build an advisory board. And if you don't have clarity on it, go get with people that have done, that you emulate and that you want to be like, and ask them if they will spend some time with you and figure out how you can make it a win for them. I would 100% do that. If you're like stuck, go find people that inspire you and go build a relationship with them.
Wow. I love that. And you definitely know because you've grown a lot of businesses. So I have one last thing I want to talk about. Yeah. So you have a very large social media following but you're not selling a product or anything. So like, what is your point, I guess?
Yeah. I honestly, like it just has grown organically and I've just always wanted to just share light and I've always wanted to just share goodness. And it's such a crazy world that we live in. And so I've always just wanted to share things that inspire and uplift others. Our family motto is me lift thee and thee lift me and we'll ascend together.
I love that.
So everything that I do share, it's something that I've either studied or that I've really been thinking about, and I just share it. And stuff that's uplifted me. So that's kind of what I've done that way. And I just share it across all platforms. And if people like it, great. They follow me, great. If not, it's actually helping me. Yeah. So I'm doing it. I actually kind of keep it as just almost like a journal.
Yeah.
And just good things that happen to me, whether it's with my family, whether it's with my work, whether it's with, stuff in church, whatever. I'll try to always just share things that uplift.
See, that's one thing I love about you is that I have a lot of friends who are influencers and it's usually for a purpose. That's their income or it's because, they just like the attention or whatever, know, and they show silly things here and there just, to be funny. But you actually just want to help people. And you can tell that the second you look at your page, you can tell that it's all about just uplifting people and pulling them out of darkness. So I really like that. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you for being here and giving us all this light and knowledge on how to make our families and marriage and businesses better. And this is coming from someone who actually has those things. Because, usually if someone has a successful business, their marriage is falling apart or something, or if they have a good marriage, then their business is struggling or something. But you actually have these, this dynamic is so rare. So thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And I don't call it it's not a good work-life balance all the time.
No, of course not.
But it's work-life harmony.
Yeah.
And what I do, I am who I am at all times. Yeah. And I try to have a good work-life harmony. Some days are crazy with kids and school, and some days are crazy with work. So it's just like, it all kinds of fits together if you put what matters most first.
I love that. Thank you so much.